What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here, man. Had a great time last night, doing a little schedule reaction. Not really a schedule release because we already knew most of the games, but it was awesome. Had a great turnout. Love the interaction. Love you guys calling in. Love you joining the live stream. Popping your face in there. Always like to put the face with the name. So appreciate all the support, but continue. Make sure you guys, if you're new to this channel, checking us out, we're growing every day. Hit that subscribe, hit the like. We are just getting this thing started. And probably, what I say is kind of that my favorite time is when the schedule comes out. You know who you're playing, but it's like Christmas. You know what you're going to get, but until you open the present, you don't know exactly what you're going to get. So we knew the teams. Now we've got the breakdown. We know what the primetime games are. We know what, is it an early game? Is it a Sunday night game? Is it a Monday game? Is it, who do we have on Thanksgiving? All that kind of good stuff. So definitely want to get your thoughts. So make sure, leave a comment, like, subscribe, share, get all that out of the way on what your thoughts are on the game you're looking forward to. Now, the game that we're looking forward to is the Cowboys Ravens. Why? Because that's going to be our second annual Cowboys Cave tailgate party in Lot 10. Everybody's welcome. Make sure you keep in tune with the Cowboys Cave, either Kelly and I on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I got a Facebook page set up, Cowboys Cave. You can go in there. And we've got the schedule set so you can let us know you're going to be there. We had a great turnout last year. We're expecting even better this year. And like I said, we got Cuts by Jones on the. He's working the pit. We're going to have food. We're going to have drink. A lot of people say, "Hey, how can I help out?" It's very simple. Any earnings, any tips, anything we got through this channel, it all goes towards a tailgate party. So a lot of that's going to be covered. But if you want to help out as well, hey, you can do a donation, $10, cover your food and some drinks and stuff like that is all we ask. We had a great turnout, like I said, and people were very generous. So it didn't cost any extra money, man. It was just like you're going there having a great time. So the tailgate party is something you don't want to miss. So make sure you guys check that out. But let's get into this schedule a little bit. Let's just talk about it because we got into it last night, but now we can take a step back, get to sleep on a little bit, try and figure this thing out. And we're going to be talking about it more and more. But kicking off at Cleveland, that's a pretty interesting game, interconference, so it doesn't have that rivalry feel to it. But it's going to be Tom Brady's debut, so there's going to be a lot of eyes on it, seeing how he does in a broadcast booth, see if he can take that roast that he did and that personality that he showed and bring it onto the TV screen, kind of like Romo, see if he can follow in the footsteps of some of the great ones, Romo, Aikman, and so on. Of course, I'm going to be biased. But Cleveland, it's interesting because, Deshaun Watson's kind of been an underachiever there, hasn't lived up to the hype. Chubb is going to be coming off an injury. They've made some moves. They've got the defense. So it's going to be a good test for this Cowboys team early. Get it started. Let's see what we got. Mike Zimmer's defense, see what we're going to look at because they're going to have to be ready, especially on our offense. Our left tackle, if Guyton ends up being the starter, Myles Garrett, that's probably not the matchup that you'd love to start your NFL career with. You got to imagine he's going to get some welcome to the NFL moments there if he ends up being that starting left tackle. We'll see how it goes. It's still very early, but it's going to be a good test. So not going to give predictions on wins and losses, but I think that's going to be one. Week 2, the home opener, I'm just going to be honest. Now, I understand you plays on the schedule, but as a fan, as someone who wants to go out, as someone who loves the home openers, and getting in that Learjet and cruising on down to AT&T and partying with Cowboys Nation, this one kind of got me a little upset because it's, New Orleans, 12 o'clock game. And we don't play a lot of 12 o'clock games. Don't like playing 12 o'clock games. I don't know if any of you guys have been there. It's just like everyone's still sleepwalking from the night out at Texas Live and hanging out. So it's not the best atmosphere for me. So probably not going to be at that game unless I do a Doug and fly out in the morning and fly out that afternoon or that evening. But I might think about it. So we're going to think about that one. But week 3, we talked about another big test at home against the Ravens. A lot of people say the Cowboys haven't beaten good opponents. I mean, we can go through the schedule last year, and I could probably argue a few of those that are incorrect. But if you looked at a lot of their tough games were on the road. Their big games, the Buffalo, the Dolphins, the 49ers, their big games were on the road. It's hard to win on the road. That's why you look at that Cleveland game. Cowboys are a 1-point underdog right now, still a long way to go, but that's a tough road game. That's going to be a tough game to win on the road, especially opening day. The dog pound's going to be hype. And now you get the Ravens at home. In the NFC Championship game last year, a quality, team. Lamar Jackson going to be a problem. They got Derrick Henry. He might have a little chip on his shoulder from not getting a phone call from Dallas. Maybe he's got something to prove that he is not washed up, or he's not, on the back end of his career. So there's going to be a test there. The Ravens always have a strong defense. And I think if you look at the first 3 games, that's really what the Cowboys offense is going to get tested, because every one of those teams they're known and always had a good, solid defense. So it's going to give our running game to see what we got going on there. That's a big concern. So we'll definitely, again, we're going to get into all these games a lot more. I just wanted to give you a quick overview. Then we got a bye week in week 4. I'm just kidding. We got a bye week with the Giants. It's almost like a bye week, but it's going to be fun. It's a Thursday game, short week, playing a Sunday game against the Ravens, tough game, late afternoon, and then having a short week against the Giants. That's not going to be easy, but thankfully we're playing the Giants, so it should be okay. Then you traveling to Pittsburgh. That's going to be a lot of fun Sunday night. I've been to that stadium, thinking about maybe doing that again. We'll see what happens. And then week 6, you're at home against Detroit. Get the bye week, and then this is the game that everyone's always says there's not going to be any belief in this team until they can get over the hump, and that's going to be the San Francisco 49ers, end of October. It's going to be a big game. The Cowboys have got to figure out a way to get over that hump. And it's funny because, like I said, back in the 90s, we owned the 49ers. We owned the Packers. And now they own us. And I don't know. It's so frustrating as a fan when you keep losing to the same team. Now I know how they felt. So now I feel bad for making fun of them all those years. So anyway, then, of course, you get into a schedule where you're at the Falcons, Philly at home. This is the first time Philly, we have not played since I can remember that the Eagles and Cowboys are not playing a Sunday night game. It's kind of surprising, to be honest, because it's the biggest rivalry right now in the division. So, I mean, bar none, there's not one closer than Philly and Dallas right now. So, that's going to be a little weird not having that Sunday night game with the Eagles. But so we've got them. Then you've got the Texans at home, where the Texans are this up and coming team. Had a great year last year. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that second year, the sophomore slump. Could that be? See what happens. Then we travel to Washington. I know a lot of eyeballs are going to be on that with Quinn. We get them late in the season, both games late. It's kind of interesting. Even the Eagles are on the back half of the schedule. Both games that we have with the Eagles on the back half. Then we got a short week with the Giants. Again, that's like a homecoming game for us on Thanksgiving. So that'll get us well rested. Then you've got the long break, and you don't play until you got that Monday. Then the following Monday, you've got the Bengals. So they got a pretty long break. That's almost like another bye week for them. Playing the Bengals, and get ready for the last part of the schedule. And then, like I talked about a little bit last night, the last 4 games at Panthers, Tampa on a Sunday night at home, at Philly, Washington at home. The Cowboys got a pretty good back end of the schedule to where if they can hang in there, it's going to be this year. I know a lot of people, some people are way down. Some people are overly optimistic. I love it. You want to go into every game believing you're going to win. But realistically, this team's record might not be as good as the last 3 years, but it could be an opportunity for them to get battle tested, to get tough, physical, because they're going to be playing some physical teams. And if they don't match their physicality, this could be a long season for the Cowboys. I'm just being honest. So it's going to be interesting, but I'd love to get your comments. Love to hear what your thoughts are. What is the game that you're looking for? What is the game that concerns you the most? It's still early, but you better believe, looking at the schedule, your boy's going to be I'll be spending some fuel. I'm going to be spending some fuel getting out there, because the Ravens is a done deal. We'll be at that one. Lions, I'd love to get to that one again. Philly, I can never miss that game. Texans on Monday night. My son and I are definitely going to that one. Thanksgiving, I think I'm going to make the trip out there. It'll be a quick trip. to go out there for Thanksgiving. And then the Monday night game, I want to see Cincinnati. I mean, it's a great schedule for home Tampa, Sunday night. I got to get a primetime game in. So it's going to be a busy time for Mike Tag in hanging with Cowboys Nation. So, and if you guys haven't noticed, last night I showed it, I'm breaking out. I always get an old school jersey, get that vibe going. And this time I chose one of the friends of the show, friends of the channel. He's been on, and he's an awesome guy. And I had the honor to speak to him a few times and trading some text messages back and forth. But Kevin Gogan, 2-time Super Bowl champion, the Great Wall. The reason I chose him is because he's a badass dude. He's nasty. They called him Big Nasty. He's physical, and that's what we need. So we need to get that inner nastiness and get that physicality in this Cowboys team, in this offensive line. So going to be repping Kevin Gogan, dropping some hype videos. I'm sure I have to mix in some Kevin Gogan in there. You got to do that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So again, Cowboys Nation, schedule's out. Now we get a chance. We break everything down. We got all summer to figure it out. So it's, we're going to overthink things. And then, of course, you got college football. My son, Mikey Schefter, he brought it up last night that college football is coming out, right? It's been so many years, but we got NCAA 25, I guess it'll be coming out. I used to play that back in the day. One of my favorite video games. So talking to Kelly, talking to a few other people, they've got the PS5, they got the Xboxes. So we might do a Cowboys Cave college football tournament. And we'll have a giveaway. We'll do something to make it a lot of fun and maybe get a lot of the, a lot of the Cowboys Nation involved in it, and maybe do a little bracket challenge, blind draw, and see what happens. Have some fun with it. So stay tuned for that, because the game comes out in July. So we got to have some things to pass the time. So definitely going to be doing that. So again, appreciate all the support. Make sure you guys, when you're exiting, hit that like button, or hit it now. I'll wait for you. Get that thumbs up, and also subscribe. We love doing this stuff. Like I said, man, the opportunity to speak to Cowboys Nation and to interact with the fans and be part of the community is definitely something I love. Don't do it for the glory. I do it for the love. So I definitely appreciate it. It gives me a great opportunity to talk Cowboys, since I'm not, I'm born and raised in Florida. So I'm I don't have a lot of Cowboy fans around me, even though we're worldwide. It's still better talking to some legit Cowboy fans and talking some smack with these other teams like the Giants, like Washington. See, I can never say Commanders, and the Eagles. So appreciate it. You guys have a great one. Let me get this thing right, and we'll be talking to you soon. Maybe dropping another video. If not, be live on Monday. You guys take care.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.